Welcome to another Straight Talking Property podcast. Today is just myself, Ashley Banfield, and I want to talk about how to achieve, or how quickly you can achieve financial freedom, specifically using property. However, we'll talk about debt, what sort of debt, good, bad, ugly, and all that type of stuff, and why the majority of people will sadly never achieve financial freedom. And it could be that you're even earning £100,000 and £200,000 a year. It could be double income in one household where you're earning £250,000, £300,000 a year, and yet you still don't achieve financial freedom. So let's crack on. Good debt and bad debt. So a lot of what I speak about today is known out there. However, a good friend of mine, who you've heard on here many a time, Emmanuel Ezekiel, he's written a book, it's been out for a few years now, called The 6 Steps to Financial Freedom. And it's all about how to turn your debt into wealth. And everyone has debt. Well, I say everyone, the majority of people in the Western world do. And it's a step-by-step guide to becoming debt-free and wealthy. So some of the information I give you today, I've read the book many times, and it's something that you should have as a tool there, and I have it as a tool on my bookshelf. And if somebody asks me something about 6 steps or steps to financial freedom, I will often refer back to that book. Now, good debt and bad debt. So good debt, it's a debt that you can use to buy an asset which generates an income and increases in value. Now think about how many of those assets there are on the planet that you can buy and will also give you an income. It could be that you buy shares in a company and it gives you a dividend. So that's an asset. However, that asset can quickly go up and it can quickly go down. With property, on average, over the last few decades, if you check the land registry for details to get the exact numbers, it's gone up by about 8% per year. Now that's pretty good income. Growth should I say. And it's increased in value. Income can be anywhere between a few £100 a month to tens and thousands of pounds per month, depending on the property you have or the portfolio that you have. Now, bad debt. It's a debt that's used to buy something that reduces in value and costs you money. So it's the opposite, if you like. It's a good debt. Now, bad debt can often include credit card debt, store cards, car loans, car leases, etc., or loans for things like holidays, new furniture, garden furniture, a new bike, new computer, kids' iPads, whatever it might be. Now, I can't remember who said it, but it's also within the book, is that if you spend more than 50% of your income on debt, then you are not going to become financially free. Now what that means is if you have £1,000 a month income and you're spending more than £500 on debt, i.e. bad debt, then you're wasting and squandering money. Now that leads me to what they call the consumer. Now the government and businesses need you to spend money. They need you to spend money because it generates taxes. And taxes will pay for your roads, etc., whatever it might be. Things like VAT and sales tax or whatever it is. So they call us consumers. We are all consumers. And if you look it up, the word consume literally means to waste, squander, and destroy totally. Now, what we're talking about wasting and squandering and totally destroying today is your financial freedom or your income. Now, if you get to a stage where you're spending 100%, sometimes 110, 120% of your income on bad debt, it's because you have credit cards. Credit cards are a means and a way to buy something now that you can pay for later. However, for that privilege, you are going to have to pay interest on your purchase. And it may be that you fought tooth and nail to buy that product. You went onto websites and looked for discount codes, Groupons, and for that thing that costs you, that normally retails for $100, you got for £70, and you think you've done really well. You put it on a credit card, and you're paying it off together with all of your other purchases for the next 2, 3 more, maybe more years. All of a sudden, that £75 purchase has turned into over £200. Now you're thinking, jeez, man, I'm wasting some money. The easiest, or I say easiest, it's not the easiest. The most effective way to reduce credit card debt is to stop using credit cards. Stop using loans. Only pay for something that you have the money for in your bank. You will find that you will soon start to increase your, not increase your income, but reduce your expenditure. Fact is, we want to buy everything now. We are a consumer nation, global population that wants to buy something now. Hence the marketing where it says, buy now, get yours now. At half price, you can have it now. It will be delivered tomorrow. Amazon Prime is all about getting something today or tomorrow. So you go on there, you swipe right, it's a credit card. You don't even think about it. You don't even think, have I got the money for it? You buy it. We want everything now, and we want what others have now. Ever since we were children, I've got 2 kids. One gets something, one wants it. One gets something else, they want that. They don't really want it, it's just a competitive thing. And it's an emotional thing. You've heard about retail therapy. We buy things to feel good. That's what we want. We want to feel good. Impulse purchasing, and the marketing is there to make us do it. Impulse purchases normally tend to be the ones that you regret buying. Take property courses that you've been to, where you've spent tens of thousands of pounds and you've run to the back. They thrive on this exact impulse purchase. And many who make these impulse purchases, they go on to regret it, or they go onto social media and they tell everyone that person who sold them that, they're rotten pieces of work and we don't ever want to speak to them again and we want to take them down and take to court. Fact is, you made an impulse purchase. Yes, they probably got into your mind and they know these ways to do it, much like the TV advertisers do. Drinks advertisers, and how they used to advertise cigarette smoking, they'd banned that. Fast food, they put on sugar tax now because they know that the impulse purchases work so well. Now the government's making money out of it. More money. Don't forget, if you're buying a credit card, you pay a premium that the bank puts in its own pocket, not yours. The banks and the tax man are thriving. You're paying interest on interest on interest. In fact, your interest that you're paying compounds. Now, without making this sound like a doom, I want you to know that there's a way out. And it's fantastic. And it's called having an asset that increases in value and pays you an income each month. You have enough of this or these assets, you will become financially free much quicker. Now, some of you may be earning a couple of grand a month, 3 grand a month, 4 grand a month, whatever it might be. Some of you may have what I call the golden handcuffs. You're earning 100,000 plus, but you're spending 100,000 plus. In fact, many of you may be paying off your overdraft each and every month just to get back to zero. Now, what's the attraction of UK property? It's had a long history, if you like, decades and decades and decades of delivering high, consistent returns over the long term. Property is not get rich quick, it is get wealthy, and I mean wealthy over time. Getting back to compound interest, let's do a quick calculation for compound interest. Let's imagine you're starting out and you have or have already been able to amass, shall we say, a portfolio to the value of £250,000. It may be one property in the south, it may be 2 or 3 in the north. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot. However, this is what I mean by acquiring wealth over time. And this property delivers this each and every time. So you have a property now that's valued, or properties that are valued at £250,000. It doesn't mean to say that you owe them. They may be mortgaged. It doesn't matter. Now, with that property, that £250,000, let's assume it's going to, let's play lowball. Let's assume over 10 years it's going to average a 7% growth each year. Now, this is year on year. So £250,000 now. In 1 year, it's going to be valued at £267,500. It's going to increase by 17,500. In year 2, because you're getting interest now on the 267,500, the 7%, not the £250,000. Your yearly average won't be 17,500, it'll be 18,725. And it's interest on interest, if you like, which is compound interest. Now, here's an interesting fact. After 10 years, with that compound interest, year on year, your property portfolio will now be worth £787.84. Now, if we take that off our initial 250, what it's valued at now, that's an increase of £241,787. Divide that by 120 months, which is 10 years times 12 months. That's an increase in your wealth of £2,000 per month and £2,014. Do you see the power of property? Now, hold on a minute. You might say to yourself, yeah, but there's debts on it. We have to pay for the mortgages and the upkeep. Well, guess what? We haven't included the income yet. Let's say the income is £2,000 a month. Now, all of a sudden, you're getting £2,000 a month capital growth on average for the next 10 years, over the 10 years, when you're getting £2,000 a month over the next couple of years, because it will go up, the rent. And in 10 years' time, it could be worth £3,000 rent. So you're adding another £200,000 odd over that 10-year period just in rental income. And that rental income will pay for the majority, will pay for all of your debt and your upkeep. And it may be that you have a small profit if it's a buy-to-let. However, it means that you have an asset that's being paid for. Now, if you want to get higher income, then you're going to have to go down the HMO, house and multiple occupation route, or service accommodation or commercial. That's the way you can increase your income, if you like. Or what you do is 5 years down the track, you've got enough equity in that portfolio, because it will now be worth circa 350 grand. So you've got 100 grand equity. You can use that 100 grand to go and buy another house, 2 houses, 3 houses, 4 houses, wherever you are. And they could be worth another 250 or 300,000 pounds. Obviously, it's the deposit that you're paying, not paying for the property outright. And again, exponentially, your property portfolio is growing, as to is your capital growth or your wealth, as to is your monthly income. Getting to the point where you don't even have to work again. That's financial freedom. Getting to the stage where you have enough income coming in without having to go to work to pay for your current lifestyle. Now, when we talk about lifestyle and current lifestyle, the way that you control your lifestyle is to increase your income, number one, and you're doing that with property rentals. Number two, you must reduce your expenditure. So if you think you need a holiday every 3 months, perhaps you don't. Or if you do, you can go somewhere locally, a staycation. Do you really need a super fast sports car which you can't use on the roads today? You have to go to a track. Perhaps you don't need that second or third car. Maybe you don't need to eat out every night of the week or 3 or 4 nights of the week. You can reduce your expenditure. It's about being responsible. Now, one of the biggest issues is that we have what we call convenience, indulgence, and appearance. This is why we spend money. So convenience, we pay someone else to do something that you could do yourself, i.e., you get a takeaway meal. It might cost you 40 quid, it costs you £5 to make it at home. That's convenience foods, convenience shopping, convenience store, ready-made meals, and so on and so forth. Indulgence is when you spend money to make yourself feel better. This is the impulse buying stuff. And many reasons why people run to the back and buy these £10,000 courses is because at that moment in time, it makes them feel better. It makes them feel like they're going to change their life, they're going to change the world. However, harsh reality is, the next day they get up and, oh, I must get started on this. And they do that for a month, they give up, and they've wasted that money. Now, appearance, this is where a bit of narcissism comes into play sometimes as well. It's about keeping up with the Joneses, buying things just to impress other people. Look at my Ferrari, look at my Lamborghini, look at my new motorbike, look at my house, look how big my house is. You might have a 5-bedroom house and there's only 2 of you living in it. You are overspending, you are indulging, and you're doing it for appearance. Do you need it? Can you afford it? And the way to understand if you can afford it is stop and only buy it if you have the money in your hand to buy it, not on plastic. Now we can go on, or I can go on all day about debts, good debts, bad debts, doing this, doing that, but you've got to want to do it. You've got to want to change your habits, change your spending mindset, develop a minimized spending mindset, allocate maximum amounts to increasing your debt-destroying payments. Start to reduce your expenditure. Start to work out ways to increase your income. Property is, I can't say enough about it. I don't think I need to, because I think you understand that. Now I've got other businesses that give me monthly income. And within those businesses, ironically, we're buying the properties that they sit in and within. McDonald's based their whole system on property, not burgers. That's what made the difference to a multi-billion-pound business. Do you think they have assets? Do you think they have assets that increase in value? And do you think they have income? Absolutely. That's why it's a multi-billion-pound company. Now, you can find out more about us. You can read Emmanuel's book. It's great. Read it several times. 6 Steps to Financial Freedom. You can get it on Amazon. Find out more about us, Wealth and Success Academy. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I think we're on Twitter. We're on just about everything. And we're on Sprecher and YouTube with these podcasts. So start making the changes today. I can't go through the entire book today. I can't go through the entire system that we use. But remember, before you even start, think about this. Increase your income. Reduce your expenditure and own things that increase in value only. When you have residual income, it's constant income that's coming in on a constant basis. When you have disposable income, think about it before you spend it on junk that you don't need. Use that disposable income to work for you. Money should be working for you, not you working for money. In addition 3 ways to reduce your wealth, if you like, are to reduce your income, increase your expenditure, and own things that reduce in value or have very or little value. An asset is something you own. A liability is something you owe. In other words, you're paying for something that's not going to make you any money. In fact, it's going to lose you money. And financial freedom is the ability to live the lifestyle that you desire without having to work or rely on anyone else for money. That's where you want to be at. That should be your number one goal. And you need to set lots of goals. So thank you for listening. We've got another podcast coming up all about planning with a planning specialist. And it's going to be something that's very, very helpful to people doing developments at the moment. And we have a special guest that we'll be releasing soon on that. So thanks again for listening. Find us out there, Wealth and Success Academy, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other normal places. And you can look me up, Ashley Banfield. On Facebook, look up Emmanuel Ezekiel, look up Jimmy London and Brett Allegra Wood. And we look forward to helping you out with further things in the future. Thanks again for your support. Thanks for listening. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you and bye.